What's going on, Wellness Warriors, and welcome back to another episode of Reach One Recovery. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the most important topic in this survivor community we have, and that is healing from narcissistic abuse. Now, why is it so important? There are three main reasons. For starters, the narcissist was trying to destroy you. That's correct, destroy you. They saw that light that resides on the inside of you, and they wanted to take advantage of it or outright extinguish it. Secondly, that narc wants to infiltrate anything connected to you. Family, friends, and this is extremely important if you have children with that narcissist. There's nothing more than they would love than to create another baby narcissist, create a generational curse that goes decades into the future and increase that narcissistic clan. And lastly, like I said, there's a whole clan of narcissists. They're all over the world. So if you don't heal and fortify yourself against it, you run the risk of running into another narcissist later on down the line. But I got a secret for you. You are already designed to win. It's been predestined. Even if you're not a believer, you have the power within you to already overcome your enemy. Prove it. Okay. Why do you think the narcissist was attracted to you in the first place? They saw that light that resides in you. That light that resides in you is your power. Your power existed before they came along. Now, they used it for a little bit, took advantage of you for a short time. But in the end, you will prevail. All you got to do is tap into that power. So today in this video, I'm going to talk about the 7 steps that I use to tap into that power and overcome my enemy. For starters, you have to own the fact that you've been in an abusive relationship. This may sound simple for outsiders, but for those of you who have went through it before, or for those of you that are currently in the process of going through it, you understand that it's a little more complex than that. The narcissist figured you out, and they figured out what abuse tactic would work best on you. And they slowly introduced it to you over time until you were head over heels into it and didn't even know what was going on. So you got to own the fact that that manipulation, that gaslighting, the lying, the deceit, the cheating, the physical altercations, all that was abuse. I can give an example from my personal experience. I was so indoctrinated that as I was talking to my therapist, trying to get some clarity onto what was happening, we were discussing chronic infidelity. And as I was going through it, she let me know, very frankly, that chronic infidelity is a type of emotional abuse. And me being so I guess in denial, I seriously sat there and told her, looked her dead in the eyes. I said, no, it's not. Because I couldn't believe that I would be getting abused. But as I looked at her face, as I looked at how she looked at me, questioning a trained professional, and I stopped and thought about it, yeah, I actually was dealing with abuse. And I had to own that fact. And that was my first step towards moving forward. Step 2 is you have to allow yourself time to grieve. Now, I know the narcissist wasn't authentic. Between the abuse, the lying, the love bombing, the constant invalidation, at the end of the day, you really don't even know the true form of that creature. But a portion of it was real to you. They were future faking, but you were actually building that future. They were impersonating somebody, but you actually fell in love with the person that they were impersonating. You have to grieve that. You need time to mourn that loss. Not only that, you lost a significant amount of time that you can't get back. Time that you invested in something that wasn't real. So take the time necessary for that grief so you can move forward. Step number 3 is you have to forgive yourself. Now, once it sets in that you were duped and that whole relationship was a big scam, it takes a toll on you. Just speaking from personal experience, you can't beat yourself up for allowing yourself to endure that abuse. You had no clue that creatures like this existed. You didn't understand that you were falling victim for their gaslighting, their blame shifting, their projection. You were giving them second, third, and fifth chances, thinking that they would get better, not knowing that it was just a pattern leading towards destruction. You got to forgive yourself. Don't beat yourself up. What can happen if you don't forgive yourself is you can start to internalize some of that abuse, some or if not all, leading to constant negative ruminations, leading to cycles of depression, and in extreme prolonged cases, it could actually lead to start leading to some suicidal thoughts. So be kind to yourself, forgive yourself, and allow yourself to move forward. Step number 4 is don't go it alone. Now, the primary thing I want to use to reinforce this is the opposite of what the narcissist does. Now, when a narcissist is priming you for abuse, one of the first things they do is they isolate you. They know that if you're in a group of like-minded, positive people, that'll keep you balanced and make you harder to abuse. So when you separate from the narc, you need to do the opposite of what they were trying to do to you. You need to reconnect. Now, one of the first things I did was I reestablished my relationship with the Creator. And for me, that's God above. If you're not a believer, whatever that is for you, if you want to reestablish with the universe or whatever your religion is, reestablish that relationship. Number 2 is this narcissist recovery survivor community is amazing. One of the hardest parts about coming back from narcissistic abuse is that not too many people could fathom the evils that these people can do. So this community is already full of like-minded people that have been through it before, and either they're a step ahead of you or a step behind you, but we all can come together to help each other heal. Another person I established connection with is a therapist. Now, for me, that was like big taboo in my community. Seeing a therapist was seen as something really wrong with you, but it helped out a lot. To speak to a third party, really express my feelings, and really get some educated feedback on what was going on. And then reconnect with healthy family and friends. And that goes a long way towards your healing. Step number 5 is to follow an intentional healing process. Now, the healing journey is going to have a bunch of ups and downs, highs and lows. There are going to be days where you're having phenomenal progress, and there's some days where you'll be crawling, but still crawling in the right direction. But you'll always be tempted to stop or be tempted to go backwards. There will always be a negative thought or a negative feeling looking to invade your mind. That's why you have to be intentional about your healing, so you can push those negative thoughts back, so you can cast down those imaginations. Now, in terms of the actual steps towards being intentional, those are unique for every single person. So you have to look that up and determine what works best for you. But there's one step everybody has to start with. And that step is you have to BDU your narcissist. BDU is block, delete, and unsubscribe. And that's not just social media. That's everyday life. So you want to block them from having access to your personal business. You want to delete them from your life entirely if possible. and you want to unsubscribe to they bullshiggity. Wanted to cuss so bad right there, but I'm about to read the Bible in a little bit, so I ain't about to mix them two up. But you want to unsubscribe to all that nonsense that they have. And that's going to be the completion of that first part of the step. The second part, you have to look up to decide what's best going to help you in a daily process towards being intentional with your healing. Step number 6 is to fortify yourself from toxic invaders. Now, how do we do that? First and foremost, you have to know yourself intimately. Know what makes you tick, your likes and your dislikes. Know your character inside and out. This is going to allow you to set boundaries and stick to those boundaries. Secondly, know your enemy. Know the narcissist tactics. Know what red flags to look out for. Like I told you before, there are a clan of narcissists walking this world. And you need to have the ability to discern whether the person you're interacting with, whether the person you're doing business with or getting into a relationship is actually a good person or a narcissist. So knowing their tactics and knowing you will help figure that out like that. And speaking of like that, when you get to know yourself, your gut feeling, you know that gut feeling that you ignored previously, your intuition, that's your superpower. When you have those first 2 sub-steps in line, listen to your superpower. Don't ignore that from this point on. If you feel something is wrong, if your body is telling you something's wrong, your intuition is telling you something's wrong, lean into it and trust it. Because odds are, you already know from personal experience that something's off. And the last step in this healing process is to heal somebody else, to help another person. Think about it. It doesn't do any good if you heal and you'll protect the people closest to you. But like I told you before, there's a clan, there's a world full of narcissists trying to create other narcissists out there. So in order to stop this tide, in order to turn the tides in this battle, you not only have to be whole, but you have to make sure those other good people in the world are whole so they don't fall victim to this creature. And then as you're healing somebody else, as you're helping somebody else, it's actually empowering you and making you a better person. It's all around healing. With that being said, it's time for you to start or continue your healing journey. For those of you that are still unsure, we're going to go ahead and get some confirmation from the Bible. So I'm going to end tonight's video with a reading from 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 10 from the NIV version. It says, "And the God of all grace, who called you to his eternal glory in Christ, after you have suffered a little while, will himself restore you and make you strong, firm and steadfast." Your victory, your healing has already been predetermined. After you have suffered a little while, God himself will restore you. If that don't get you excited, I don't know what will. But I wish everyone out there the best. I wish you continued success. I want to thank you for allowing me to fellowship with you tonight. And until next time, peace.